Good afternoon, everybody. Happy 2019. Sandra Ennis from Remax Little Oak Realty in Fort Langley here. Hope your year is starting out wonderfully, and it's that time of year. If you are a homeowner in BC, the first week in January always means the arrival of our BC assessment notice. So what does that mean? How does it relate to market value? What if there's a mistake on it? Let's talk about that for a few minutes. But first of all, let's just do some overall statistics for the Fraser Valley. So in the Fraser Valley and the BC Assessment Fraser Valley region includes Surrey, Richmond, Delta, all the rest of the Fraser Valley up to past Hope and Boston Bar. So big area. The total assessments increased from 490 billion last year to 540 billion this year. So that's an increase of about 50 billion. So nice big chunk of change there. Of that increase, almost 11 billion of that 50 billion increase is due to new construction, subdivisions, and rezoning of properties. So typical, Fraser Valley, there's lots and lots of value in our homes. If you are in a residential single-family home, you probably have seen your assessment either decrease by about 10% up to an increase of 15%, so somewhere in that range. I live in Fort Langley. My assessment this year actually basically didn't change. It's essentially the same. If you are in a strata unit in the Fraser Valley, meaning you're in a condo or a townhome, you probably saw your assessment increase anywhere from 5 to 35%, somewhere in that range. Again, those are averages, but that's approximately what you would be looking at. Okay, so this assessment arrived in the mail and maybe it went up by 10%. You're thinking, does that mean that I'm going to be paying 10% more in property taxes? Not necessarily. So this is your BC assessment notice, and then in the spring, you will receive your property tax notice from your municipality. So for me, being in Fort Langley, my municipality is the Township of Langley. They are going to send out a notice saying this is what I owe in terms of property taxes. If my assessment went up by 10%, that doesn't necessarily mean that my taxes will go up by 10%. There's two factors that play in this equation. So first of all, my home as a percentage of all of the taxable properties in the Township of Langley. What is that percentage? What was the percentage last year and what was the percentage this year? If that percentage stayed consistent and if the municipality's budget didn't change at all, then my property taxes would remain the same as last year. But those are a couple of pretty big ifs. So first of all, how does my property compare to other properties in the area as a share of the overall tax base in the area? So that percentage may change. If that went down, then I will have to pay a smaller percentage of the overall taxes in the municipality. If that percentage went up, I will owe a greater share of the taxes in the municipality. So that's first of all, what's the share? And then second is, what is the municipality's budget? So if the municipality needs to collect more money this year to pay for everything that they need to do in their budget, then of course that's going to have an impact on taxes. So even if your percentage share of the overall tax base remain the same, but if the municipality needs to collect more money, you will be paying more taxes. So change in assessment is not a direct correlation to change in property taxes. So you will find out more about that in the spring. If this is a bit confusing, the bcassessment.ca website is awesome. There's a couple of videos that actually go through some mathematical examples of what I'm talking about, and you can really see how the share of the overall municipality's budget plays into things. So if you need more information, go to that website. Then I was talking about our share of the overall tax base compared to our neighbors and compared to the greater municipality that we're in. It's a really good idea to go on to the BC Assessment website, go on there, type in your address, and you will get the assessment data. First of all, check to make sure it matches what your statement says, because if there's a boo-boo there, you want to make sure that glitch gets fixed. So that's step one. And then step two, once you've pulled up your property, you'll see a button or a link where it says, check out neighboring properties. You can click on that and you will see the assessments of homes in your area. And that's really useful to have a look at. It's kind of nosy as well, but it's also really good to know, are your neighbors, is their property going up and down? How does that compare to yours? Because again, the relative value of properties is important for a number of different reasons. So go and have a look at that as well. Okay, so I got this value on this piece of paper that says my house is worth this number. Does that mean I could put it on the market today for that number and sell it for that price? Probably not, for a couple of reasons. First of all, the BC assessment data is based on the value as of July 1st this past year. So guess what? That's 6 months ago, and a lot of things have happened in 6 months. There may have been sales in your neighborhood. In fact, more than likely there were sales in your neighborhood. BC assessment didn't use that data when they came up with a value. So that can certainly impact what your home is worth. And the other big thing that impacts what your home is worth is what your home is like inside, specifically in your backyard. BC assessors don't come to your home. So have you just put brand new flooring all the way through? Have you painted it? Have you tweaked it? Have you done this? Have you done that? Is your backyard beautiful? So on and so forth. BC assessors don't have that information. The best way to find out what your home is worth is to bring out a realtor, or bring out a couple of realtors, get a couple of different evaluations, because realtors will do two things. First of all, they will bring the most recent information to you. So if your neighbor sold yesterday, they can use that information and they will share that information with you. And they will also be inside your home. They will look at your home. They know the relative saleability of your home compared to your neighbors, which of course has a huge impact on market value. And they will include that in their evaluation. So a realtor can give you the best idea of the evaluation of your home. And then finally, if you got your notice and you think it's just wrong, the value is wrong for whatever reason, you can appeal your assessment. Again, there is a link on the bcassessment.ca website. If you want to appeal, don't wait too long. You have to do it by the end of January, and appeal for the right reasons. Don't appeal just so that you will pay less taxes. That can backfire down the road. I'll explain that in a second. But if there is a reason, so again, if you've compared your home to your neighbors and yours is way out of line and it was never out of line before, or there is something specific that they've got the land size wrong, or who knows, there could be a reason, then absolutely appeal for the right reasons. But if you're appealing just so that you don't have to pay as much property taxes, as I said, that can backfire. I have had several examples in my real estate career where somebody has listed their home, a number of years ago. They appealed their tax assessment. They were so happy because they haven't been paying as many taxes, but then it's time for a buyer to offer on their home. Guess what? Buyers look at assessed values of both the home that they're offering on as well as homes in the neighborhood. And if your assessment is significantly lower than the neighbor for no particular reason, that can raise a red flag. So appeals have to be done for the right reasons. They can be done, and they do make sense in the right situations, but not just to reduce your taxes. So once again, if you are a homeowner, you've been through this process before, or if you've been a long-term homeowner, you've had these notices in the mail every January, so here we go again. But if you're a new homeowner, or maybe you've just never really paid attention and wondered how it impacts value, what it means for value, that's what I'm here for. That's what realtors are here for. We're here to share information, to answer your questions. If you do have any questions about your BC assessment or any questions about the market in general, I'm just a phone call, an email, a message away, so don't hesitate to reach out. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.